There's some things I wanted to talk about. There's some things I wanted to talk about. People keep telling you to rush the project so they can get their hands on, while experiencing on what you've been working on for about a month or a week. I personally don't recommend that because the results ain't gonna be great. I used to release my projects, like 2 projects a week, and guess what? All of them had bad reviews, bad comments saying that I should stop, I shouldn't be making this, and it's not meant for me. Well, that may be, but what makes you think that you should be? That you should be right or wrong? They're not wrong, but they're not right either. With the projects, what I recommend doing is when you finish any task or when you run out of motivation and you just decide to rush it, simply just stop the project, put it in a save folder, and then check other projects that you can work on, because the first project is going to bring you the first experience, is what I like to call it. The second project is going to be different because you had different ideas in mind, and that relies on heavily on different perspectives of and workflows that you can achieve. So you work on that second project, you gain new experience, and then you come back to the older one and say, that's not how it's supposed to be done. It has to be remade, retweaked, and so on and so forth. And that's a good thing because that will make your project a lot better. The first one, and the second one is going to get now worse because with the tweaking you gain another batch of experience, and then you start to see more of what can be done on the second project. So you go back to the second project, you tweak it and fix it, all the nitbitties you do, and now you have 2 projects, but you're still not ready to release them yet, or you want to release them but you're not sure. You're right, you shouldn't release them both. You first release the one you're most satisfied with. You take all the criticism in mind and not to heart, because some criticism can be harsh, I know. I've been there. But you shouldn't neglect them. Sometimes they can be impactful, I know. I get that. But what you really should do is rethink your workflows. Not the strategy, not the way you create things, but your workflows. So let's say your project, the first project, was copy and paste. What if it was manually readjusted by one model? So I have a project named TSC Revisioned and Memphis, and then my own game Dream Plague, and then another project for Killing Floor 2, but I'm not happy with its results because I'm being limited by the engine a lot, because that's not what I wanted to create. And that goes the same to music, because when you first make music or art that you get first-hand experience, you shouldn't immediately just go out and release it, because the next day when you wake up your mind's gonna be different. It's gonna think differently, and it's gonna be half awake. And we want the art to be awoken. So when the person who's half asleep will open your project and his mind begins to open immediately. That's what we want, the impact you should do with your projects. You make them open your mind. They open their minds. And like that you can, but this, it takes a lot of time, yes, but once that's done, it's gonna be impactful on you as an artist. So you can grow, finally get a job as an artist. Perhaps you can make games, so on and so forth. And that's a beautiful thing. If that happens, that's perfect. You can now thrive as an artist doing your most favorable job. Now, personally, for me, I cannot have a job because I have a disability. And here where I live, the disability is a big thing because it does not allow the person to work. I only get paid a month for my disability, like paycheck, and that's it. And I use that money for the softwares because I'm a tech guy. I like to mess with the tinker with the various things. Oh yeah, People also asked me if that if so project for Half-Life. Apparently it has 4 stars. I'm surprised. 4 stars on both chapters, and people keep telling me where's the chapter 3, and well, I'm not rushing it. I'm taking my sweet time. Yes, the engine is limiting me. The engine is the reason why it's taking so slow, but I'm always reiterating it. And that's what you should do. If the engine is limiting you, you should reiterate, change, readapt, so the engine flows perfectly with your project. And to do that, you need to know the engine, know your tools. If you know your tools, you know your project. So that goes the same to drawing. If you know how to shade properly and if you know how to color properly, you're gonna have a good drawing. People are gonna pay attention to it. And that's how you gain others people's trust, is by working hard, doing what you love, being genuine to yourself and others. If you just go out just to get some drama or attention for your art, that's not an artist. That's just some sad internet person who's so desperate for attention and he has no idea how to get it. I personally don't want attention, but I like to log everything I do. So that may give me attention, that's fine. But if not, that's also fine. It's not what I aim for anyway. I just aim to create and always do what I love doing. And that's the beauty of artist destruction, is when people start negatively impacting your life. Because of your projects, you lose social life, you lose income, you lose loved ones. And that's what artist has to go through. That's the destruction of the artist. And that helps him grow if the artist knows how, on how to achieve this growth. And the growth can be achieved simply by still doing everything you do, just harder. You start being more critical to your own projects rather than before. That's how I learned. That's why you can't play my projects so soon, because I'm taking my sweet time, and once that project's done, I go to another one, get some experience from the new project, and then go back to the old one, reiterate, and then recreate. And with that, the outcome's a lot better. That's what I found what works for me the best, and I hope it will be the best for you as well. That's how artists work. They do a lot of repetitive patterns, sitting, playing, or whatever. This message does not go to studios. This message does not go to a personal person or whatever to show like teachings. It's only meant for an artist. An artist. This is only meant for an artist who's struggling. I know the struggle's real, but we should be glad, because that struggle makes us better. That's how artists grow, through struggle, pain, and lack of social life. And when the artist grows, he'll be noticed, and all the social life will open up to him. So that's what I wanted to say. So I'm just chilling in the park, all alone. Still snow. The river's flowing. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to say. So I'll see you next time.